Welcome to another episode of the Retirepreneur podcast. I'm your host with this week's executive summary for busy entrepreneurs building their second act business. Today's episode is designed for maximum impact in minimum time. So let's just dive right in. We're going to be talking about, I think, the most critical challenge for experienced pros, say 55 and up, who are looking to move into consulting.
Right.
It's this moment where you know you have the skills, you've led the teams, you've managed huge budgets, solved massive problems for, decades. But the real question is, how do you take all that knowledge and confidently package it, price it, and then actually sell your first offer?
Exactly. And the data we've seen shows that the roadblock for most people, it's not a knowledge gap. It's a clarity gap.
A clarity gap. I like that.
And it's a gap that is absolutely worth closing, and quickly. Because the evidence, it suggests this demographic has a huge competitive advantage.
Oh, really? Tell me about that.
Well, if you look at new businesses, 70% of ventures started by entrepreneurs age 50 and older are still running after 5 years.
70%.
70. Compare that to younger startups, where the number is closer to 28%.
Wow. That's more than double the success rate. That kind of stat really confirms that the market is, safer for the kind of measured expertise that comes with experience.
It absolutely is. And you can see that in the workforce numbers, too. Self-employment for professionals over 62 has been climbing for years. It went from about 4.2% back in the late 80s to 5.4% by 2015. So this is a real movement.
Okay, so the opportunity is clearly there. Let's get into the how. How do we turn that experience into something structured and sellable?
Right.
Let's start with our first insight, blueprinting your expertise. I think this starts with a mindset shift, right?
It's all about the mindset. You have to realize that the thing that feels completely obvious to you...
The thing you could do in your sleep.
Exactly. That thing is a 5-alarm emergency to your future client. That's not just a solution. It's premium expertise built on years of pattern recognition.
So we need to, formalize that pattern?
We do. And the first step is really specific, and we call it the recurring problem inventory.
Okay, what's that involve?
It's simple. You're not writing your career memoir. Just set a timer for 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
And in that time, list 5 to 7 recurring problems that you were the person who handled them. The things nobody else could solve as efficiently as you.
Okay, so I've got my list. Now what? This is just raw material, I assume.
It's the raw material for your entire offer. Now, for each problem on that list, you need to document 4 specific things. This is what turns your resume into a service blueprint.
All right, let's break them down. What's point number 1?
First one is crucial for targeting. Who struggled with it?
Ooh.
Yeah, what was their role? The department. Was it a certain size of company or a certain stage of growth? You need to know who you're helping before you can find them.
Right, so it's not just I solve communication problems. It's I solve communication problems for remote engineering teams and hypergrowth. Much more specific.
Precisely. Okay, number 2. What made it difficult for them? What was the real friction?
The friction.
Was it, lack of a framework, internal politics? Or were they just not asking the right questions to begin with? Identifying that friction is how you position your value.
I see. And that leads directly into the third point, which is where your secret sauce comes in.
Exactly. Number 3 is, what did you do differently? This is your method. The steps, the system, the questions you asked, this is the repeatable framework that you are actually going to sell.
Okay, method. And then the final one.
The 4th point, and this is the one that justifies your fee, what outcome did you achieve? And it has to be measurable.
Measurable.
Did you prevent a risk? Protect revenue? Did you improve efficiency by, say, 15%? Without a tangible result, you feel like a cost. With one, you're a profit driver.
That blueprint is the entire foundation. Okay, let's pivot to the part that makes everyone uncomfortable, the money, price.
This is where so many talented people get stuck. They either guess or they feel awkward and massively undercharged.
Right.
And that discomfort can kill a new venture before it even starts. So we use a formula, the consulting rate formula, to find your minimum sustainable rate. This is the floor, not the ceiling.
Okay, a formula. This takes the emotion out of it. Let's walk through it with some real numbers. How does it start?
It starts with the executive wage equivalent. Basically, what would it cost to hire a full-time senior person to solve this? Let's say that's a $150,000 salary.
Okay, $150K.
That breaks down to roughly $75 an hour. That's step 1.
Simple enough. What's next?
Step 2, you have to add overhead and burden. A company pays way more than just salary. They've got payroll taxes, benefits, insurance.
All the hidden costs.
Right. So we use a standard multiplier for that, which is 1.35. So you take your $75 an hour and multiply it by 1.35.
And that gets you to about $100 an hour?
Roughly, yes. About $100. That's the true cost for a company to employ someone to do this work.
Now, hold on. That 1.35 multiplier, is that just a rule of thumb?
It's the standard industry average for fully burdened costs. It covers all those things that you, as a consultant, now have to cover for yourself. It ensures you're comparing apples to apples.
Got it. Okay, so we're at $100 an hour. What's step 3?
Step 3 is the one almost everyone forgets. Account for non-billable time.
Ah, yes. The proposals, the invoicing, the marketing.
All of it. You're not billing 40 hours a week. If you're lucky, you're billing maybe 25 or 30. The rest is running the business.
So you have to build that unpaid time into your rate.
You have to. So we use another multiplier here. 1.5, you take that $100 an hour, multiply by 1.5, and now you're at $150 per hour.
Okay, so $150 an hour is the break-even point.
That is your absolute minimum sustainable rate just to stay afloat, but you're not in business to break even.
Right. You're in business to make a profit.
Which brings us to the last step, step 4. Add profit margin. You are a business. You need to fund your growth, pay taxes, save. So we add one last 1.35 multiplier.
So $150 times $1.35 gets you to just over $200 an hour.
Around $202. Yeah, so let's call it a range of $175 to $225 an hour. That is your sustainable professional starting floor.
$200 an hour. I can hear someone listening right now thinking that's way more than I ever made as a salaried manager. How do you justify that?
You never apologize for the rate. You justify it with the outcome from your blueprint. You say, you're not paying for my hour. You're paying to solve a 6-figure problem that's been slowing you down for months.
You're paying for speed and certainty.
Exactly. You're buying pattern recognition. And if you need confidence, just look at the benchmarks. A fractional CFO can command $200 to $400 an hour. A senior HR consultant, $150 to $250. The market is already there.
That really helps anchor it. Okay, that brings us to our third big insight. Validate before you build. This is huge for time-pressed experts.
Absolutely. The goal is to get revenue flowing before you spend a dime on things you don't need.
So let's talk about what you do not need. You don't need a fancy logo. You don't need business cards.
You don't need a 6-page website. And please, do not spend money forming an LLC yet. That's just administrative drag when you need momentum.
So if you ditch all that, what's left? What do you actually do?
You have conversations.
That's it.
You need maybe 5 honest conversations with people who look exactly like your ideal client.
People you already know.
Former colleagues, industry peers, people from your network. This is your entire validation process.
Okay, but these can't just be casual chats. They have to be strategic.
Yeah.
You have a set of 4 questions for this, right?
4 very specific validation questions. The first one is designed to uncover pain. You ask, what's your biggest challenge right now around the problem you solve?
Okay, that gets them talking. What's question 2?
Question 2, test their commitment. What have you tried so far to fix this?
Ah, clever. If the answer is nothing, it's probably not a big enough problem.
Exactly. But if they've tried 3 different expensive things that all failed, you know you've hit on something urgent.
Okay, what's the third question?
Number 3 establishes the value. What would change for the business if you actually solved this? You're getting them to articulate the ROI for you.
And the final question. This is the one that turns a conversation into a potential sale.
This is the moment of truth.
Yeah.
Just ask, would outside expertise help here? And then you listen very, very carefully.
What are you listening for?
Polite interest sounds like, oh, that's a great idea, but real interest.
Yeah.
Real interest sounds like, when could you start?
Or how much would something like that cost?
Yes. Or, we were just talking about this in our leadership meeting, that's the signal. If you get that kind of real, actionable interest in just 2 of those 5 conversations, your demand is validated.
You found your market.
You have. And that very first project, even if you do it pro bono for a great testimonial, that's what helps you build a repeatable packaged offer.
And speaking of packages, once you've done that first project, there are really 3 common structures that work well for consultants, right?
3 very reliable models. First is the diagnostic package. It's a fixed fee, maybe 2 weeks of work, where you deliver a roadmap. It's a great low-risk entry point for clients, usually in the $5,000 to $15,000 range.
Okay, and the second?
The implementation package. This is where you actually do the work you recommended. It could be a fixed fee or milestone-based, often from $10,000 up to $50,000 or more.
And the third one, which feels perfectly suited for this demographic, is the retainer model.
The advisory retainer, yep. the fractional executive model. You become their part-time strategic advisor for a monthly fee, say $3,000 to $10,000 a month, for just a few hours of high-level counsel.
No matter the package, though, you need a simple way to explain what you do. There's a formula for this too, isn't there?
There is. I help WHO fix problems so they can result. For example, I help scaling companies implement project management frameworks so initiatives actually finish on time. Simple. Powerful.
Okay, this has all been incredibly actionable. So let's wrap this up with an immediate action plan for everyone listening. What should they do this week?
3 things. First, pick just one problem from that inventory you made, the one you're most confident about.
One problem.
Second, have 3 conversations about it this week. That's it. Text or email 3 former colleagues you trust.
Just 3. Okay, and what's the final step?
Third, when you talk to them, listen more than you talk. Document their exact words, their frustrations. The market will tell you exactly when and what to build. You just have to start asking.
That's your executive briefing for this week. If you found value in these insights, share this episode with fellow retirepreneurs and subscribe to the Retirepreneur newsletter at retirepreneur.com. Follow us for weekly strategic insights. And remember, your most successful chapter is just beginning. Until next week, keep building.